Well, welcome everyone to the Diz Explorers podcast, where each week we explore the magic of Disney travel, Disney movies, and Disney culture. On the podcast this week, we have our Diz Explorers troupe. First off, we have our producer, Milford.
Hello, everybody.
And we have our in-resident rogue pirate, RJ.
Hello, everybody.
Jessica, our social media magician.
Hello, everybody.
Adrianne, who is our Jedi Master Trip Planner.
Hey, everyone.
Crystal, who is our Brew Master.
Hey, you all.
And I'm Mel, a Disney Cruise Line expert. This week on the podcast, our first segment is dedicated to our favorite villains, heroes, and sidekicks. Each one of the explorers has picked their own cast of characters to talk about tonight. So, Milford, we're going to go ahead and jump in right with you. Who is your favorite villain and your favorite sidekick and hero?
Well, I kind of went back and forth between a few of them. I really like the old Tron movie. I like the new Tron movie. But I decided to go a completely different direction to, I'm sure everybody's heard of a movie called Sky High.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, in Sky High, you have Kurt Russell, who plays Steve Stronghold, or the Commander. Technically, his sidekick is Kelly Preston, who plays Josie Stronghold in Jetstream. Though they do reveal in the movie that before they got married, he had a sidekick who was called All-American Boy, who's actually a teacher at the high school for the superheroes. And then my villain, and I think it's a really cool one, and it's in the same movie, is Royal Pain, or Gwen Grayson, who is actually a person that they fought before that was hit by this ray gun that made her go back to being a child, and she grew up again and become a villain again. So it's kind of a cool movie, and that's one of my favorites. If I was going to go another direction, it would have been either Tron, the original, and Tron Legacy, with the whole Clue, Tron kind of battle back and forth, because Tron created Clue, and we won't go deep into that. That's my picks.
Come on.
That's my picks.
All right, I guess I'll go ahead and hop on in there next. I'm going to start with my villain and sidekick, because instead of a hero sidekick, I went with a villain sidekick. My villain and sidekick go together because you cannot separate them. And one of my kids' favorite Disney movies ever, the highly underrated Emperor's New Groove. Yzma and Kronk.
Oh,
Yzma,
love that movie.
Yzma and Kronk.
Oh,
the
perfect.
best.
Yzma, of course, voiced by Eartha Kitt. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
And Kronk, Patrick Warburton. Hello. That how could you go wrong with that pair?
You can't.
You're squeaking,
You really can't.
squeaking. Cusco's poison. My kids both my sons can do Kronk voices. It's hilarious. The poison specifically to kill Cusco. Cusco poison. Oh my goodness.
Did you see it at one of the Run Disney events? Someone had a costume where they were Kronk with the tent on their back.
Oh, that's
I did see that.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
That's cool.
Yes. Those two, you can't separate them. There's the comedy gold there.
Yes.
They're the worst villains and the best villains ever at the exact same time. And how they animated Yzma. She had such style, yet she was so hideous.
Yes.
All at the same time, the angles of the animation were very sharp, and it was just so unique. And those eyelashes.
Yes.
You knew something wasn't right just by looking at those eyes. And Kronk, such a big-hearted
Lug.
Oh, yeah, glug to be. I mean, and he just adored Yzma. Of course, he adored everybody, but he adored her. So, And for Hero, it's a different movie altogether, but for Hero, I went with an unlikely hero, a flawed hero. I gotta give props to my guy, Flynn Rider.
Nice.
Wow.
Eugene.
I love
Yep.
him. I do too.
And he is, of course, voiced by Zachary Levi, who is Thor's sidekick, Fandral, over in the Thor series. So, he's actually a hero and a sidekick, but there we go. So, yes, I do love some Flynn Rider. He has those smoldering eyes. He smolders.
He smolders.
That, he had me at lanterns.
Oh, I love it.
Love
That is the most
lanterns.
romantic scene, ever.
Oh, I love the lanterns. But so, yeah, those were my 3 picks. So next, how about we go over to Adrianne?
Okay, I love the pick so far, to be honest. But I chose, my 3 are from completely different movies, completely different eras, and I love them. My top hero is Robin Hood because Robin Hood is my most favorite Disney movie ever, and nothing will ever replace it.
I have a very special place in my heart for that one, too.
I love it. He's charming, he's kind, he's good-hearted, he loves kids, he's passionate. He'll do anything for his woman. I love it. Love him. Love, love, love. My sidekick is Genie from Aladdin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because he's the best. He's funny. He's loyal. He loves his friends. He's good-natured. He too will do anything for Aladdin, and and then of course the voicing by Robin Williams is beyond amazing. So love him. And even though I almost went with Abu because he's pretty awesome too.
Oh yeah, or the carpet.
Right? Yeah. Oh, Carpet. Love him. That's a great movie. And then my villain, I almost went with Scar, which is who I think if y'all are following at all what RJ and I are doing on Twitter, is who I picked on Twitter.
Yes,
but I did. But I switched it to this one for Loki. Yeah. Because Loki is very Scar-like.
Yes.
Yes.
And, just minus the Be Prepared song, which is the best villain song in the world.
Jeremy Irons, come on.
I know.
Yep.
But I
voice.
have a little bit of are you talking about Tom Hiddleston or Jeremy Irons? Because Tom Hiddleston was pretty great. So there's a little bit of Tom Hiddleston fangirl in me in this choice. But,
You and Taylor Swift both.
Oh, right? Little jealous there. I love with both of them, you can see their motivations, right? They're always overshadowed by this perfect big brother and
golden child.
The golden child. So you can see where that's coming from. And then with Loki, you've also got the adoption issues, daddy issues. I think he's charming and he has that smirk. I just love him. So he's mine. And I'll stop rambling.
Have you seen him on the Disney Kids promos?
No.
Where he's all in Loki gear, so he's as Loki, and he's talking to preschoolers.
Oh, is this where they're sitting
Thor.
in circle time?
Yes, circle time.
Oh, I haven't seen
Circle
that.
time with Loki.
That's
Look on
fantastic.
it's the hashtag is Disney Kids, and Disney does these promo pieces, and they're fantastic. They're hilarious. So, yeah, and Loki is sitting with these preschoolers talking about who's their favorite Thor or Loki. And, it's great.
It is great.
All right, so since we're talking Twitter wars, how about you, RJ? Your favorite 3.
All right. This took all week, and then I probably just rejiggered it before we started recording. But I'll start with my hero, and mine's way off to the left field. A movie that I don't think a lot of people give any recognition to, and one of my favorites from the first time that I saw it. My kids like it too, not as much as I do, but I'm going with Lewis from Meet the Robinsons.
Yes.
Because I love that movie.
One.
And
just so you know, my son's 6th birthday party was Meet the Robinsons.
Perfect.
So you aren't the only one who loves that movie.
Nice. Yeah, it just his whole trials and tribulations from trying to be adopted and find who his mother is and trouble he gets into and then getting himself out and end up saving himself with his son from the future. The whole plot twist and the whole wacky family that he ends up with that is really his family. I just love how that whole movie was done, beginning to end.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad about it. So I went with that for him.
Yes. And when he has the chance to meet his mom, and he's standing there, and I'm
right. Yeah, that ending is like,
oh,
man, yeah.
Oh, they did really well with that one.
Yep, that's on the level of
agreed. Totally
Pixar,
underrated.
That's on a level of Pixar emotion there at the end of that movie.
And the animation really is too.
Oh, the animation is fantastic. That whole thing where like the world comes together and it's like those bubbles that turn into everything, like when they come through time, and then after they defeat the bowler hat guy, and it goes back from the darkness to the other. Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
And the T-Rex. Come on,
I love
the T-Rex. So much heart in that movie.
I can't. I have little arms. All right. Anyway, and my sidekick, I went more along the lines, I think, that where people would think I'd go would be Joshua Gibbs from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, because just the fact that even in the first one, after they've been separated for years, and Gibbs is part of the British Royal Navy, and Jack Sparrow comes stumbling into Port Royal, and they gang back up together, and all the nonsense he puts them through, and the complete lack of respect and everything, and they come back together again, and Gibbs saves them in the fourth one. Just the back and forth between the two of them, they're the way they played together in those movies is just fantastic. You would think they really were real life sidekicks, the way they played off of each other. I mean, I know you have to act and learn to be that way, but it just seems true and genuine. It really sold me. So he was definitely my favorite sidekick. And as far as villains go, I have to have a tie between an animation one and a live action one. So I have to go with Hades for mine, because Hercules is another one of my favorite movies, and he just cracks me up. James Woods does that voice and that personality fantastic. When he gets mad,
deadpans it. Oh.
And I mean, I have a tattoo of Hades on my leg. That's how much I like him. So it's he just cracks me up. And I was scrolling through trying to find quotes and just cracking myself up before we started recording, because I love him in that movie from beginning to end. And then for my live action guy, I had to pick Blackbeard from the last Pirates one, because I just fell in love with that whole character from the first moment the trailers came, and until when that movie came out, and I think I saw it 3 times in the theater in 3D with different people. And I just love what they did with that character. He is just pure 100% evil from head to toe, and that's the way a villain should be, ruthless. He doesn't give a rat's patootie about anybody or anything except getting to what he needs to get to. And I was kind of sad that he only lasted one movie. I was sad he got the Darth Maul treatment. And again, I liked him so much. I went to the last Halloween party I went to at the parks. I dressed up as Blackbeard in 90-degree weather. I had a full-on the jacket, the hat, sword.
That's dedication.
Everything. I'll have to find the pirate boots, everything, whole 9 yards. Beard, had a full beard with the little things, not lit on fire, but yeah.
We need the picture on Facebook.
I was going to say, we definitely need that picture.
I will get one. There's a picture of me standing next to Jack Sparrow and my wife and my son, but it's
the best.
But it is a terrible picture, because it was an old flip phone camera. We didn't drag the regular camera around with us that night because it was when we were going to be out late. So it's kind of pixelated, but you get the idea. And I'm a small person. I'm not very tall. So I look kind of ridiculous next to Jack Sparrow, because he's a tall guy. So, but anyway, there is good pictures of me. I will definitely get them out there for everybody to laugh at.
And I want to see the ink too. Come on.
I thought I put a picture of that. It must be a couple of Facebook groups that I belong to for Disney stuff, and they've been doing tattoo stuff lately. So yeah, I'll get a picture of that.
You put the Hades one on on Twitter, I think.
Did I? Not too long ago.
In one of our exchanges.
I'll take a look back and
probably when we were doing for the 30-day challenge, because I think I put Hades for that. No problem. I don't mind putting my tattoo pictures all over the place.
I know one of these days I'm actually going to get a tattoo.
Will it be Game of Thrones?
Well, don't get her started. We'll never get back.
We'll never get back on topic. We're not going there.
Okay.
So save us, Crystal. Crystal, what are your picks?
All right. So I'm going to start with my villain first. And I am a total wimp when it comes to stuff like this. So even like the music of Haunted Mansion freaks me out. So it really started with that the Hook movie from that like the 90s with Robin Williams. And when Hook comes in and kidnaps the children and leaves like the ransom note, and one of the characters says Hook, and at the time we were like sitting on the couch and I had my legs across my husband, and I got the chills just from him saying Hook. So it's really this love-hate relationship with Hook. So I would have to say he's probably the top villain that I love, but I also fear him at the same time. But I think I've mentioned previously that my toddler loves villains. So I've always been in this phase of like, who loves villains? And now that my son loves it so much, like I totally get it. He's into, Cruella. So we dress up like Cruella and the dogs for Halloween, and he'll walk around and sing "Poor Unfortunate Souls" like Ursula. So it's totally ridiculous. But I would recommend checking out the Not So Scary Halloween Party at the parks if you like villains. They have some of these awesome villains like Jack Skellington and Sally, the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus. So if you like villains, that's a great special event to attend in order to see some of the villains.
Absolutely.
And then from the hero side, I just went with classic hero Mickey. I feel like he's like the all-time good guy. And really, I'm not a huge like Disney movie person, but I feel like everything that's in the parks has been inspired by the mouse. So kind of that phrase, it all started with a mouse. So that was why I picked Mickey for my all-time hero. And then my sidekick, I selected Pascal from The Tangled.
Nice.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things is going into Magic Kingdom and trying to find the little Pascals that are hidden throughout the Tangled Rapunzel bathroom area. So I think there's 12 or 15 of them, and you can kind of walk around and see if you can spot the different ones throughout that area. So those are kind of my favorite. But I just love Pascal. He's kind and devoted and will do whatever he needs to do for Rapunzel, but has a pretty cool like theme song and super cool guy. So
I love him and Max in Tangled Ever After.
Yes.
That's
just watched that the other day. It was hilarious.
About that. I was just thinking about that when they're going after the rings.
Yes.
Oh man.
So funny.
Yeah. I know you just said it, but Ursula was one of my honorable mentions. And when you were talking about her, there was the live version of The Little Mermaid that was done it was the Hollywood Bowl a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And Rebel Wilson did.
Yeah.
Was Ursula.
That's pretty fabulous casting.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Sarah Bareilles and what's his name from Glee, who was Kristoff.
Was it Darren Criss? No.
I think so. I think he was. I think he was. And correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he was Eric.
I think he
I think
was.
you might be right. Yeah.
And I know Jodie Benson actually did the singing parts. She didn't play Ariel, but I believe she.
No, Sarah Bareilles did. Mm-mm.
Oh, she did. Okay.
Yes.
But I know Jodie Benson was there for some part of it.
They did have, because they did it in real time with the actual movie. So they had the orchestra there and the actors there. But so they did have parts that were from the original score.
Okay.
That went back to the original animation. So I can see where Jodie Benson would have been able to have been a part of it for sure. Gotcha. Although I didn't see the entire event. I wish I did. But anyway, back Ursula. Ooh. Oh, loved her. She has a nice deep voice. She was perfect. And finally, let's go over to Jessica.
All right. Picks. So, first of all, I want to say I think it's so cool that all of us picked something different for every single one. I think that's really interesting. Okay, so I'll start with my villain, who was the easiest pick for me. It was Maleficent. I just love her because she just makes evil so cool, and she's just so just like glamorous. And when she shows up in the green flames, and she's just fabulous. I just love her.
She has style.
She has style. She's just the best. I didn't really like her so much in the live action version because I thought that she just didn't have as much pizzazz, except for the actual christening scene that they did. I thought that was really well done. But like when she was in the woods and stuff, it wasn't the same vibe. So I'm talking about like the old school animated Maleficent.
The one you don't feel sorry for.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, that's not why I didn't like her, but that's a good point. Okay, so my sidekick, I almost went with Pascal. I have a little stuffed one, and he has a really judgy face, so I say that he guards my room. But I went with Timon and Pumbaa because I don't think you can separate them. They have to be a duo.
No. Yes.
But they're hilarious and they're awesome and they're actually helpful. A lot of sidekicks aren't, but they're actually helpful. So.
Yep.
I really
or they're
like
the reverse of helpful.
Yeah. And then my hero, I picked Mulan because, I mean, she's really, the brave, tough, like, soldier and everything, but I really like her because she's also smart and she's really resourceful, and you can just kind of watch her grow over time and, like, come into her own. So I think she's a really interesting hero to watch as well.
Oh,
And I like how any girl who feels awkward in her own skin can look to Mulan.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
And so when you've got a daughter who's watching a Disney movie, that's one you want to be on the top of her list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Because every girl, especially teens and tweens, they feel awkward. They don't know what's going on. That whole matchmaker, I've got boys kind of thing.
Right.
But then, she goes and she conquers. Oh, yeah, like Mulan.
Yep.
Good picks.
Definitely.
Anybody want to throw out any of their honorable mentions or ones that they went back and forth with?
One that I didn't think about until while we were talking is Once Upon a Time's Hook, who could also be the villain and hero. Love that character. Love that character.
Break out the fans.
Right. That too. Y'all can see what's a motivating factor for me sometimes. But,
I never
Talk
got
about
into
a
watching
smolder.
Yeah.
Smolder on that one could knock me out from behind the TV screen. Ooh.
I had to Netflix that one, RJ. Like, I couldn't watch it from week to week. I had to sit and, zone in to really get into it. It was too slow to watch from week to week. But
I'm a Netflixer too. I very rarely can watch something in real time, with again the exception of Game of Thrones. But so Netflix has been great for Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got, my mother and my aunt watch it, and they would talk about it all the time and go back and forth with it. So I just never got into it. It's probably the same reason. It's just something else that I didn't have the time at night to get into and devote time to. But I was going to I'll use them as an honorable mention now. I was going to pick one character for all three, but then I couldn't figure out how to justify the villain part of it totally, in my eyes at least. But I was going to pick Jack Sparrow because in certain roles in all four movies, he's been the hero. Usually after he's created the mess, he's been a sidekick. At least in the fourth one, he's kind of a sidekick to Barbossa, trying to take down Blackbeard for getting his leg cut off and sinking the Pearl. And he's kind of been the villain, like in the third one, where he tricked everybody and set the whole mess up. And then, if you watch the movie 6 times, you can get the plot down the right way. It's kind of like,
instead of them blurring together.
Well, and you could say in the eyes of the Navy, right? He's a pirate. He is a villain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So
right. Absolutely.
I think it's justifiable.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So, but I didn't want to be that generic and be that piratey with everything.
But come on.
All right. So
I've
got one honorable mention, and I'm going to go really obscure here. For a villain, is Dr. Hans Reinhardt from The Black Hole.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
He was just an awesome villain part in that movie. I mean, it kind of scares you a little. So
he's really scary.
If you've never seen that movie, you should watch it because it's kind of cheesy because the special effects in it are they're 1970-ish. So
right.
But
I'd say it's been the
really
80s since
cool
I've
movie.
seen it.
Wow, that's a good one.
My sidekick honorable mention. Again, it's a villain's one, but LeFou.
Oh yes.
Gaston the Gaston song. He's like, LeFou, I'm afraid I've been thinking. A dangerous pastime.
Indeed.
Exactly. It's LeFou. He's totally the comic relief, and again, loyal to his villain.
Yeah.
Loyal.
I think the villains may need their sidekicks even more than the heroes do.
Oh, Usually, no doubt, they do. I just wanted to spin off on two of the ones that you guys said. Just maybe I was the only one that watched the series, but Adrianne said Yzma and Kronk. Did you watch the show that used to be on in the Disney afternoon?
Somewhat, yes.
The
kids did.
That show was great. If that might be on Netflix, I don't know, or Amazon Prime, but they were even great in that because Kronk had an even bigger role in that thing.
Anything Patrick Warburton is in.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just his voice.
His voice is fantastic. And Timon and Pumbaa were great in the Lion King series too, and they're really good in the new one that's on now. They're not in it that much. But
when they are, they're good.
But they're fantastic when they're in it. And I like that show. I sit and watch it with the 4-year-old all the time.
I know, I do too.
Does anybody know if Patrick Warburton still does the pre-show for the new Soren?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Thank goodness. Whew.
He didn't know he was going to be in it, so he tweeted, like, signing off, like, thank you for everything.
Yes.
And then the next day he said, I didn't fake my death. I really didn't know.
Exactly.
I'm so glad they didn't change that then.
Oh, me too. I can be a fanboy, and then we can move on. So he put that tweet out about that stuff, and I follow him anyway.
Right.
And other people were having conversations about it and going back and forth. So I don't know who it was that put the tweet out about the only person that could ever be the chief flight attendant in my eyes is Patrick Warburton, and he put his Twitter handle on it. So I liked it, and I quoted it and said something along the lines saying, yes, there should be none other. And he ended up liking the retweet. So I saved it, and I made I thought I put it on Twitter. Maybe I didn't. But anyway, I took a picture of the original tweet, and then I took a picture of where it says who liked it. And Patrick liked it, and then the other guy that I was having the conversation with. And I did it like the pic, stitched them together, one picture, and then I put it back out on Twitter. And I was like totally geeking out. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the greatest day of my life. It's either that or I just spend too much time on Twitter talking about Disney things.
There's no such thing as that.
Well, my phone tells me, I spend,
Don't look at that
percentage. Well, the only reason I did it is because somebody else was putting it out there the other day on the Twitter. And I was like, oh, let me see what mine is. I was like, no, okay, let's not.
Do not look at that function.
No.
It's too scary. I refuse. All right. Well, tonight on our blog highlight, we are going to go over to WDW Bound with our Jedi Master Trip Planner, Adrianne, where she is talking all about tech to make your trip go much more smoothly. So, Adrianne, why don't you give us the rundown on what you've got over on WDWbound.com?
All right. I wrote a post on getting your smartphone park ready for Disney World. Disney has really done a great job lately of incorporating technology into your experience, most notably with the My Disney Experience app, but also in Epcot. I think the new Perry's Great Adventure or Agent P's can also now be done on your smartphone instead of the little clinky ones that they used to give you. But so they're really kind of, I think, trying to move more in that direction. But for the time being, I wanted to talk a little bit about apps that can make your experience that much better when you're in the parks. So I listed several on this blog post, and I'm going to just kind of run through them very briefly. And then if y'all have any to add, please feel free to jump in at any time. But the first app you should have on your phone if you're making a trip to Disney World is the My Disney Experience app. It's, the Disney's licensed app that you can control your reservations, you can control your fast passes, your dining, your pretty much everything that's linked to your trip. You can buy tickets, you can do a host of different things. So it's if you're only going to have one Disney app on your phone, that's the one that you need to have. The second one is a user-created app called Magic Guide for Disney World. I don't know if any of you guys have this one, but it's my favorite. I go to it even more often than I go to My Disney Experience because I really do, because
it runs faster.
It does run faster for sure. You can favorite rides and check the wait times at any time of the day. and it's right there in the home screen. So you just pull it up and you go, oh, it's a 15-minute wait time for Spaceship Earth or whatever. Now it's user provided wait times as opposed to like Disney wait times, but I find that they're fairly similar. So it's my favorite. It's also got maps, it's got dining information, it's got menus, everything. It's fabulous. The next one that I recommended was the WDW Ride Counter. It basically lets you keep track of all the things that you've done on your trip that you can put in if you've ridden a specific attraction, gone to see a show, how many times you've done it. And then after your trip, you can kind of have a summary of, I rode Seven Dwarfs 5 times or whatever.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really neat.
It's a fun app.
Yeah, because on my phone, I always use the notes and I just write down all the attractions I went on. So it'd be nice to actually like see it.
Yeah, and I think it does characters too. You can, if you met Ariel or you're trying to figure out which characters you haven't met or whatever, it's really, really good. I also recommended Theme Park Trivia, the Walt Disney World edition. I don't know about y'all. I get really bored waiting in line really, really quickly. And my kids are too young for it now, but I can see as they get older that it would be a fun way to pass the time if you're in a restaurant or if you're in a line or whatever, but just kind of trivia back and forth. And my sister and I are both diehard Disney nerds, so we really like to out trivia each other. And also slightly competitive, just a little bit.
You should so come to Disney with my family.
I was going to say, it sounds like our family. It sounds like
we did the ultimate Disney trivia on the last night of our last cruise.
Oh.
And my cousin's wife and I are super competitive with each other. We're like the worst. The worst. And I adore her. And we were going head to head. We ended up tying. We would have beaten the couple who beat us if we had just joined forces, because the ones I got wrong, she got right, and vice versa. So we have to, I guess we learned our lesson about teamwork that night. But so yes, I can see how Disney trivia would definitely pass the time.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. Another fun way to pass the time when you're in lines or whenever you're in Disney World is trying to find hidden Mickeys. And for anybody who's listening that doesn't know what a hidden Mickey is, it's basically somewhere hidden in the architecture or in paintings or in carpets or whatever can be a hidden picture of the Mickey ears silhouette, or sometimes it's, Mickey himself, but typically Mickey in silhouette. And even though I love this app because it kind of gives you hints, you can take pictures, you can keep a record of all the hidden Mickeys that you've found. I do give a slight little warning that it is the only paid app on the list, but I love it. I love hidden Mickeys. One day, that's my goal, is to take a trip that's solely based on trying to find all the hidden Mickeys.
Yes.
Right? Wouldn't that be fun?
They have them on the cruise ships too.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. Love it, love it.
They're all over the cruise ships. It's fun.
You've completely gotten me obsessed with cruising, by the way. Off topic.
Yay!
But
that is like my sole mission in life.
I know. Okay, back to topic. The last one that I have that's second to last one that I have that's Disney specific is called Capturing Magic. And it is a photo editing app that kind of lets you make your own, what do they call, magic shots, I guess. It tells you where good photo ops are and kind of where to go to find them. And then it lets you add little Disney specific pictures and words and that kind of thing to it. So it's fun. And one that's actually not in my blog post because I discovered it afterward is called Where in Walt Disney World or Where in WDW.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why I didn't have this before.
Oh man, that thing is like crack.
I know. For those of you who haven't used it or don't have experience, it knows everything. And you could say, okay, I'm really craving a Dole Whip. And you search for Dole Whip. It will tell you everywhere that it can be found and how far you are away from it. So, yeah, must have.
Whoa.
Fabulous. Yeah.
Oh, see, I was thinking of a different one. That's a different app. There's another app. It's just called Where in Disney World, and it's like the trivia one, but it's only pictures. So
fun.
So they'll show you a picture, and some of them are ridiculously easy, and some of them are near impossible. And that's a great thing to do. We used to do it in line, like with a group of us, and see who knew which. And some of them are so obscure. You're like, really? Like,
I'm not really good at those ones. That
just like
are that.
Just done. You would think it's done like by the Imagineers. Number one, just to drive you mad, and then kind of like the hidden Mickey thing. Like, okay, people, let's suck into something else.
I'm literally writing that down right now. I'm going to download it later.
There's always something else.
Oh, so I have to get that one that you were talking about, because that one I do not have.
It's great. I haven't had a chance to put it into practice yet, but fabulous.
Cool.
Okay, so some of the non-Disney ones that I have that I recommend and have on my phone are the Dropbox app. If you don't have Dropbox or you use some sort of similar cloud storage, that's fine. I love Dropbox. It's my personal favorite. Upload all of my vacation pictures into my Dropbox, and then when I get home, they're in my Dropbox on my computer. So it's a little bit easier to access them. Some sort of picture collage app. My favorite is InstaVid right now, because I'm really into collage pictures where one corner of them is also a video.
Oh, cool.
Cool. I love it. And it auto plays, in most of your social media platforms. I was using PicStitch for a while, but I don't like it as much as InstaVid.
Oh.
And then also nicely makes it into the little square for Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Huh.
Yeah, love it. And then I don't use Uber, but I know a lot of people do. So having the Uber app on your phone is a great way to, get rides if you need them while you're in Disney. We almost always drive, so not really necessary for us. And then on my blog post, I did a little screenshot of my travel folder on my phone, which also includes a rest area finder, because I'm sorry, honey, but my husband has a very tiny bladder and we have to go to the bathroom all the time. Bless him. I hope he doesn't listen to this one.
I wear the crown for that in my family. I just go, hun, it's that time. And he gives me the look. I'm like,
right.
Oh,
yes.
3 kids.
People aren't driving with me. I'm like a camel on the road.
See, that's me. Yeah. I know. I feel you. And then I also have I think it's pronounced Zomato. I'm not really sure, but it's to find restaurants and things if you need to get something to eat. So again, because we drive so often, we need those. And then don't hate me, there's also a universal version of the Magic Guide. That's fabulous too. So if you make a trip into that other park that we don't name, it's a good one to have. The other kind of section of my blog post talks about preserving your battery life, and it's just things that if you're going to be using these apps, if you're going to be taking pictures, if you're going to be uploading things to social media, your battery's going to die fairly quickly. My phone currently is about a year old, so it's getting to that point where the battery life drops very, very quickly. So just some quick recommendations for that, including going into airplane mode when you're not using it, turning on auto brightness, turning off your Bluetooth, utilizing low battery mode if you have that, and then also investing in an external battery pack so that you can charge on the go. Disney has lots of places that you can kind of sneakily find outlets to charge your phone if you want to, some of which I mentioned in the post, but that requires sitting somewhere for a period of time. And I don't have time for that. I don't know about y'all, but I don't have time for that.
Nope.
Yeah, I got to be on the go. And then I added one final tech tip, which is my Disney Experience app is easily one of the most used apps on my phone. It tends to malfunction a good bit. Just yesterday, I was trying to check my fast passes for our trip next month, and it said I had no plans. And I was thinking, no, I have 2 check-ins in the next 3 months, so I'm pretty sure I have plans. And so my tech tip was just to take a screenshot of your daily plan in the My Disney Experience app, and then you can set it as your lock screen. And that way, every time you take out your phone, you don't have to unlock anything. You can just kind of press on and go, oh, yeah, our fast pass is until 12:40 or whatever.
Cool.
Just to kind of have it easily accessible.
I love that. That's a great idea.
Thank you. So that was the basis of that post. If y'all have any other kind of technology, phone-oriented tips or tricks or anything, I would love to hear them.
You can also download the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app.
Okay.
That
and Disneyland has a version too, right?
Yes.
I thought.
Yeah, they do.
Yes. The Disney Cruise Line Navigator app is going to have very few functions on land. It's mostly for navigating through the ship. It has your the daily navigator, which is your plan of action. They've got that on there. But what you can use for any Disney trip, and that I'm surprised, and you can tell me where it is if they do have it on the My Disney Experience app, but they have the countdown to your vacation, where you set the clock, and it has the little suitcase with the countdown ticker on it. And on the suitcase itself, it has logos for Disney Cruise Line, for Disney World, Disneyland, Castaway Cay. There's multiple stickers on that piece of luggage, which make me think that it has been used for other destinations other than Disney Cruise Line. But you put the countdown to your vacation. I'm looking at it right now. Actually, I have my next Disney World vacation on the countdown because that comes first. So I'm watching as it ticks down to that. But it does let you reset the clock. So if I wanted to change it over to my cruise vacation, I could, because I love a countdown. And as we all know, when you're planning a Disney World vacation, those countdown dates are important. Your 180-day mark, your 60-day mark. Those are important dates. So yeah, I do love the countdown function on the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app.
The other cool thing about that app too is the fact that once you get on the boat, you can use it as a messaging tool. So you don't have to carry wave phones and end up losing them.
Yay! We're breaking them.
Pretty much everybody in your group just needs to give you their number. That everybody gets a code when they put that app on their phone, and that ties to your room. And then once you have their code, you can message them through the app, and it uses the ship's Wi-Fi for free.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And then you can also get the navigator. You can actually see what's going on that day or the next day. If you're looking for that obscure mixology class, they're listed in there. So.
Oh, cool.
That is really cool.
They have the best emojis.
It's at Meridians.
Yes, they do have the best emojis. Those are pretty cool.
They do. And there are deck plans so that, especially when you're on the larger ships and you forget where something is, you really don't want to be aft when what you really want to be is forward on those bigger ships. That's a 20-minute walk.
Yeah.
Not really. Maybe 15. But yeah. Any other tech?
I've got a few other just different apps that are fun apps that I like to use a lot, both in the parks and on the parks. That Magic Guide one that Adrianne mentioned is definitely my hands down favorite one. That one is usually spot on all the time, and it's easier to get around than the My Disney Experience app. If you're just looking for something quick, menus, wait times, maps, and stuff like that, it's like super quick. For people who enjoy drinking around Walt Disney World, there's one that's called Beers and Ears, and that one's a lot of fun. It lists every beer on property as
and it's updated very frequently.
I was just going to say, yeah, they update it frequently, and you can check off which ones you've drank, and you can go to search for certain ones, carts, restaurants, everything else. So that one's a lot of fun. And then I don't know if you guys have ever gotten them when you're down there, but they used to hand out these little cards with Timon and Pumbaa on them with like the safety rules on them, and they have them placarded on the buses, like the Disney safe things, and it's little cartoony things with Timon and Pumbaa about, don't walk in front of a bus, don't stand in the middle of the monorail door when it's closing, fold your stroller, stuff like that. They made it into an app, and it's called Disney Safe, and it's Timon and Pumbaa on it. And instead of just the cards, they were like little baseball cards. They're little animations of what not to do, like safety rules. It is hysterical. So that's fun, and it's fun for the kids to watch. And if you like shopping, which who doesn't, there's the Shop Parks app, which is only relative to stuff they sell in the parks. But the great thing is, like, if you're in a store and you find something like a shirt or something you like, but they don't have the size, if you don't want to ask a cast member or if they don't have it there, you click on the app and find the item, and it'll tell you if it's in another store around the property. There's no guarantee,
cool.
But
and it can scan barcodes now too.
It'll scan barcodes, and it's fantastic. We used it to find tank tops last time I was there. Three of us wanted the same tank tops, and they only had one in one store and like two in another. We were in the studios on Sunset, and we got one of them there, and we wanted two of them, and they had them at Mouse Gear. So we're like, all right, we're gonna go to Epcot tonight. Grab two more in Mouse Gear. But it's cool because it saves you from not wanting to get something or saying, "Oh, bummer, they don't have my size," or
That is
goes with
cool.
anything. So it's
That would have come in
Yeah.
handy when my daughter wanted that Rapunzel nightgown that was in 2 stores on site on the property
Exactly.
at the time. It was early days. Later, the next trip, they were in every single gift shop.
Right.
But at the time, they were in 2 places, and we looked everywhere. And she was taller for her age, so it was a hard size to find.
Right.
Yep.
So it was like other places had the smaller sizes, but nowhere had the larger one.
And then there's also an app. I don't know how common this is anymore, but I always have my family get my kids the Disney gift cards for birthday and Christmas. There's an app for the gift cards that you can put all the numbers of the gift cards in. I think you can scan them now, and it keeps a running total of all the what's left on them. So you don't have to carry the
Really?
receipt. Yeah, you don't have to.
That's really cool.
So you don't have to keep the receipt, and you don't have to keep checking. When you get to the store and say, "Oh, I don't know how much is left on this." Oh, there's only 39 cents. Ah, crap. So that's pretty cool. 2 more, and then I'll stop. There's for the geeky people. There's an app called Main Street Windows, and it has all the windows with all the original Imagineers and all the people who have passed away, and it has where the windows are on Main Street. It has the story behind them, and it gives little like tours and stuff on it, and it's fantastic for the geeks who want to
I
just.
need that app.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that.
It's called Main Street Windows.
I need it. I need that one.
That's it.
That
And
one
then
would be fun just here.
it is fun here. It's great because it's history and it's part of the heritage of Walt Disney World. So yeah, it's really great. And those trivia apps like Adrianne was talking about, there's a ton of other ones. There's a Villains one, there's a Parks one, there's a Pixar one. So if you want to load up your phone with a million
Trivia.
different things, I have an iPhone and I have 3 full, I don't know what you would call them, like when you group all the apps together into one thing. I have 3 things full of just Disney apps.
That's fabulous.
It's ridiculous.
So now we pack our phone like we pack our luggage.
It's insane. And the scary part is I look at a lot of them almost every day.
I am no joke on that Magic Guide every day because I'm like,
The
if I was in
obsession
Disney
is
World right
real.
now, I could get on People Mover and there's no line.
Right?
Every day.
I look at the wait times. I'm like, oh, wow, where's everybody today? It's not that bad.
Yes.
Oh, it's bad. It's terrible. Ay, ay, ay.
All right. Well, there was some news that came out today that some changes have been made to the Disney dining plan, and for that, we're going to go over to our dining plan expert, Milford. What's new on the plan? What's changed? What are people going to be happy about, and what are people already grumbling about?
Well, this just came out this afternoon to the public, so I haven't seen a whole lot of grumbling yet. I'm kind of happy about it. So
good.
I kind of like the change they made. So let me just read what their official press release was. There are changes in what is offered compared to 2016's plans. For example, a quick service meal in 2016 is made up of 1 entree, 1 non-alcoholic drink, and a dessert. The dessert is taken out for the 2017 plan. Instead, they're giving you an extra snack credit to be added to the quick service dining plan. So if you get the quick service dining plan for 2017, you get 2 quick service meals, so that's an entree and a non-alcoholic drink, 2 snacks, and a refillable mug. I don't know about all of you, but that was a lot of food to have to eat when you're hot in the park, and I think it's a good move for them. So the next level dining plan with the table service meal is pretty much the same as that. They still give you the 2 snacks, but of course it comes with a mug, and you get the quick service and a 1 table service meal. So that are the changes for that, and all of the remember, all the 2017 packages are officially available tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, who doesn't want an extra Mickey bar? I'll
Yeah,
take an extra,
exactly.
I'll take an extra. I haven't gotten the dining plan in a long time, but when we used to get it, I had no problems with it. But I know it's changed a bunch of times, probably since the last. What is it up to price wise? Now,
they don't have that here, but
okay.
I can find that out. Maybe I'll report out on that on another episode. But I know it's still pretty pricey. I mean, it's like around $40 a person. It's probably more like $45 a person.
Okay, so it hasn't gone up crazy, because I want to say...
It hasn't gone up because they've taken things away from it. When the first year they came out with the dining plan, I don't know if you remember, when you did table service, everybody got a appetizer.
Yes, I do remember that, it was only like $35 or something like that, or $30.
Yeah. And the gratuities were included in the early days.
Oh, yeah. Were included.
Well, they were losing money. That's why they changed that.
Absolutely. And so in those days, you got a appetizer, the entree, a dessert, and a non-alcoholic beverage. That was a lot of food to eat at a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I like that change. Plus, I would always forget. And then the lady bringing me up would be like, oh, you have to go and get this, or you have to go and get that. And when I was dragging around 2 little kids, and I'm like, can I just please skip the brownie and just pay for my food and go sit down, please?
Yeah. We always liked the extra snacks because the last day, if we were, flying, which we don't really fly anymore, if we were flying and we had the kids with us, we'd just go load up on Rice Krispie bars or whatever as snacks to take on the plane with us. So
exactly, because after the meal, sometimes you're just not hungry enough for a dessert.
Nope.
So I'm on board with that change. Yeah. Although we haven't been on the plan since our youngest turned 10 and was an adult, even though she ate like a bird.
Yeah.
That's why I never bothered getting up for my
We've gone off the
kids.
plan. We've gone off plan for the last 3 times, and we've been happy with that. For the way we eat, anyway.
Yeah, and my wife and I really cut back on the amount of food we eat. So a lot of times we go into a place and we'll split a meal.
Absolutely.
Because it's just too much food. So
yeah, we went off plan. The first time we went off plan, we were determined because we just couldn't. We looked at all the menus, and we just couldn't figure out, is this worth it for us? So we said, forget it. We're just going to go off, and we made a game of it. We meticulously saved every receipt for anything we put in our mouth, whether it was candy, alcohol, which is not on the dining plan.
Nope.
Snacks, food, sodas, anything. And we did not hold back. It's not like we budgeted ourselves. We're like, we're hungry, we're eating. If it looks good, we'll get it. We didn't budget ourselves. And over the week we were there, we actually even had 2 table service meals where it's like sometimes we just want a couple. We're not a sit down every day kind of people when we're at the parks. So we saved all of the receipts, and when we got home, I added it all up. And we made out probably a couple $100 better than the quick service dining plan because we didn't eat all those meals. We shared when we wanted to, and we still had 2 table service meals.
Yeah.
And tipped. We didn't have to tip for, if we had gone with the traditional dining plan that has a table service meal. That's a lot of tipping you're doing. That's not budgeted. That people are like, whoa, because you're looking at, what eventually you're not worried about the prices on the menus, but if you're going to do a 15 to 20% tip, wow, on a $200 meal.
Yeah.
Even though you're not paying for the meal, that's a $40 tip times, a 5, 6, 7 day vacation. That's, $200 to $300 that you weren't originally budgeting.
And on those, they automatically add the tip at 18%.
Yeah, pretty much now everywhere. I think parties over 6, it's just on there.
So,
well, if you're on the dining plan, even if there's only 2 of you, they add the 18%.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, wow.
On the dining plan,
Same thing with Tables in Wonderland, because that's what my wife and I have opted for now. We do Tables in Wonderland.
Yeah, me too.
But they add 18% tip to it, but I'm taking 20% off of food and alcohol.
Right. That's where you make out on that.
Yeah.
But the funny thing with that is they've cut back on restaurants that take that over the years too, because you used to be able to use that everywhere. And now some of the signature ones don't participate in it anymore.
Yeah, that's why I have my annual pass and my DVC membership.
And me too. Yeah,
and my Disney Visa card. So
me too. But
they're going to take something.
Yeah.
But the problem with all those is now it's great to have all those, but there's no differentiation. That's not even a word. There's no difference between them anymore. They all give you 10%, where DVC annual pass used to give you, if you had the higher up one, would give you 20% off on merchandise and food and stuff like that. And then they cut all that out too. So now it's 10% across the board for everything.
And what we found out on this last trip was a lot of the new restaurants in Disney Springs aren't taking those discounts yet.
Really?
So Deluxe Burger wasn't taking it. Morimoto's did. They were on Tables in Wonderland.
Okay.
But they were on it early.
Right.
And then a lot of the other ones that are just getting ready to open up, they don't take it. At least not yet.
Right.
But I always ask.
Oh, you have to ask.
If you don't ask, you don't
Exactly.
know. And I say, okay, I pull out my cards and I say, okay, did you take discounts on any of these? And they look at me funny, but...
Yeah, but you know
every
what?
once in a while they say, oh yeah, that red Visa card, you can get 20% off if you charge it with that.
Right. Yep. Which you don't think to do, because I never think to take out the credit card, because you give it to the front desk or you do the online check-in, it's on the bill, everything goes on the Magic Band,
Right.
and I don't take $1 out of my pocket.
See, that's how they make out.
So and that's how they make out. But I've been doing it, like especially if it was great with special merchandise stuff.
Yeah.
With things like that, because I remember when the Osborne lights were shutting down, I wanted one of the shirts with Goofy on it that said the last or whatever the heck it said, and there was only one place that was selling it. It was the Used Guys merchandise over there, and I went and I got my shirt, and actually the cast member that helped me asked if I had any of the above, but I believe the Visa card was the only one they were giving a discount for. I don't think that,
Oh, wow.
or DVC. I think they were giving because if you were DVC, then you got, I believe, a pin, or I'm sorry, pass holder. If you were a pass holder, the shirt on the bottom said pass holder event or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So you were able to find the shirt. I think you were able to get the shirt online through the Disney store, but it didn't say pass holder on it, and it might have been a different thing. But I pay for the pass, so you might as well get the perk with it saying it on the shirt and brag to everybody about it.
Yeah.
Get something for what you pay for.
Mel, I'll share a file with you that has it's kind of a template, and it has all the restaurants, and it has a chart with what restaurants take what discounts.
Do we know yet, while we're on dining, do we know when those candlelight processional dining packages are going to be released to the public for booking?
No, they've not released anything yet on that.
Oh.
And I'm shocked, because usually it's about now when they release it.
Well, hopefully this week we'll have dates so that we know when we have to go flood the system.
Yeah, those are hard to make when you're at under 180 days, and now all the restaurants that are part of that are full.
So do you recommend, if I know where I would want to go ahead and maybe grab the reservation now for that restaurant and then release it while making or is there a way to transfer that to roll that into a candlelight processional? Like, say if I, was at Rose and Crown or
Well, I think you'd
in
be
Morocco,
safe
somewhere
if you
that
knew certain ones were going to do it. I think if you had a reservation and called
and had them converted.
dining and said, hey, I already have a reservation, can you convert it? They should be able to do that. I don't know that for sure, because I've not ever had anybody that wanted to book that. So,
but at least, I would have it. And I have the sneaky plan, and I probably shouldn't say it out loud, but my strategy is we don't know who the narrators are.
Nope.
At this point.
No, they haven't announced anything.
I have 4 nights that I have in the parks. I'm booking 4 packages until those narrators are released. And then I can pick the one I want. And then I will, as soon as those narrators are released, I will immediately release the other 3. I'm not holding on to them forever and ever, but goodness, if Neil Patrick Harris shows up one night, or then somebody else who I don't really care about comes, who am I going to pick?
Right.
Or if it's Marley Matlin or Gary Sinise. I mean, if I'm getting a heavy hitter one night, I want that one.
Oh, absolutely.
So that one, we'll have Adventures in Candlelight Processional later, but, we just don't know at this point. So I have to book every night, because I would be very mad at myself. And I think everyone I'm going with, who I'm the alpha planner of the group, they would be looking at me like, Gary Sinise was here 2 days ago. Why weren't we there then? I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
pressure.
I do know.
No pressure on me.
I do know after the Candlelight Processional this last year, after every one of them, they were handing out surveys to everybody that came out of the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And there were questions on the. I never got a copy of the survey, but there were questions asking about being assigned seats in the theater and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I wonder if they haven't announced yet because they're trying to iron all that out.
Could be. I mean, you have precious your time in the parks is so precious. I mean, your time is money there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the bottom line with Disney. Your time is your money there, and to have to wait in line for standby seating, even when you have the candlelight processional package, you still have to get there a half hour earlier. I mean, that's a lot of time you're investing in this event, which is one of the things that I lost count how many times I've been to Walt Disney World, but I have never been to the candlelight processional.
Me neither.
It's just timing. It's never worked out timing wise. Usually our holiday trips fall in mid-November before they begin. And it's something that is on my gotta do it list this time because I don't know when I'll be back at this particular time of year again. So, no pressure. It's my one thing. Every trip I have one new thing that I really, really want to accomplish it. And that's my big one this year. So hopefully we'll have some good narrators. All of the narrators are usually very good and thoroughly enjoyable. So I'm not so worried about that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just want to have options. At the end of the week, I just want to have some options. So I may go ahead and book those restaurants that I know are typically on that list. So that at least I'll have the reservations. All right.
I just want to, before we just mention one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
About the restaurants, which take which. If you go to that handy dandy app that Adrianne loves so much, the Magic Guide, it'll tell you. If you click on the dining portion of it and then go to, like, I'm looking at the Disney Springs now, and most of them don't take much, but a lot of them are on the dining plan. There's more AP annual pass and DVC discounts than Tables in Wonderland.
And there's a lot of the Tables in Wonderland are lunches.
And it's right because like a lot of the older ones take Tables in Wonderland. I'm not going to read the whole list, but like Paradiso and Portobello, those all take all of them. But the newer stuff like Morimoto is annual pass and Tables in Wonderland. Jock Lindsay's is nothing. The Boathouse is pass holder and DVC, no Tables in Wonderland. But yeah, it could be reserved for only dinners instead of lunches. That it doesn't specify, but it'll give you a general idea of it. Just another handy dandy thing that app is good for. And you can import all your. I know it does it in the Disney Experience app, but if you can input all your dining reservations into this app as well too, and you can do it you can import it from your email. Like if you get email confirmation numbers and stuff, you can stick them in, and it'll.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It'll have all in one section your dining schedule. So, and it holds them in there forever. It seems like, because I still have mine in here from Thanksgiving of 2015.
Well, all right, everyone. I think that about wraps it up for this episode of the Diz Explorers podcast. If you're listening to us over on iTunes, make sure you give us a rating so that we know that you're enjoying the podcast. If you're not listening to us on iTunes, go on over to iTunes anyway. Click that 5-star rating you want to. Before we do sign off, we always like to give each one of our troopers the opportunity to let you know where you can find us on social media. So let's start with Crystal.
Hey, you all, check me out at Twitter at Disney Brewing.
And Adrianne.
You can find my blog at wdwbound.com. I'm on Twitter at wdwbound_com and Instagram and Facebook at AdriWDWBound.
And RJ.
Okay, find me on Facebook at RJ Lucia Jr. and on Twitter, Instagram, and the Periscope at BlackPearl454.
Jessica.
So my blog is on duchessofdisneyland.com, and my Twitter handle is Duchess Jessica, and I'm also on Instagram at the Duchess of Disneyland, and I post daily pictures of the park. So if that's your thing, you should follow me.
And Milford.
You can find my Milford on the Move blog over at milfordhutzel.com. I'm also on Twitter, Milford on the Move, and on Facebook as Milford Hutzel.
And this is Mel. Until DCLPrepSchool.com launches, you can find me on Facebook at DCL Prep School. On Twitter, it's also at DCL Prep School, but over on Instagram and Pinterest, I am DCL Prep. And that wraps it up for the night. Thanks so much for joining us. Until next week when we explore the magic. Good night.
Bye now.